Charlotte isn't just growing, it's charging forward. This city finally realized how much potential it's been sitting on, and now it's finally flexing a bit. You can smell barbecue and fresh concrete in the same block. That's change you can smell, not just read about. South End's brewery patios are packed with golden retrievers living influencer lives. Valentine flipped its office park past into concerts at the Amp and kids splashing through Stream Park. Out west, Enderley and Reed Park are catching their second wind. Locals turning sweat into pride. Yeah, we've got cranes, traffic, and too many out-of-state plates. But that noise, that's the soundtrack of a city leveling up. So ask yourself, when a city feels this alive, which version do you claim? The polished one that everyone's post about, or the one still writing its story? Watch what's happening here. Odds are you'll see Charlotte in a sharper light after this. A few years ago, that whole stretch out near the River District, right where West Boulevard just stops, was nothing but mud, power lines, and silence. GPS didn't even know where you were. Slide to today, and now that same spot's got coffee shops buzzing, kids flying by on scooters, and homes that didn't even exist 2 years ago. That's how this city operates. It doesn't wait for permission, it just builds the next thing. And it's not just out west. You see the same spark in Ballantyne, Eastland, even Noda. Every corner's writing its own comeback story. Charlotte wakes up early, stays out late, and finds a way to make it work in between. If you're trying to get what's really happening here, this video is your inside track. We're talking lifestyle, neighborhoods, and what all this growth actually means if you're thinking about calling this place home. Charlotte used to be the city people pass through on their way somewhere else. Now it's the stop people brag about making permanent. You can feel it in the skyline that changes every few months, in the smell of espresso mixing with barbecue smoke, and in the constant soundtrack of construction and conversation. The Pearl lit a spark uptown with med school energy and late night patios full of people who walk to work in scrubs or sneakers. Out west, the River District brought the outdoors back into city life with morning paddleboards on the Catawba, food trucks parked near new trails, and sunsets bouncing off brand new rooftops. And South End, still the flex spot, where breweries double as boardrooms and half the crowd just bike the rail trail to get there. Even the suburbs caught the vibe. Ballantyne flipped from button-up to laid back with concerts at the Amp, while Eastland is shaping up as Charlotte's comeback story, with fields, food, and families taking back a space that sat quiet for too long. More than a hotspot, it's a new default across Charlotte. A couple I helped move here from Chicago saw it happen in real time. They thought they were buying into quiet suburb life. 2 weeks later, they were at a River District farmers market, swapping numbers with their new neighbors and planning brewery nights. Over dinner, they said, "We didn't just move states, we've moved eras." That line stuck with me because they're right. Charlotte feels like the next era. What makes it special is how homegrown it all feels. The change didn't start in a boardroom. It started in coffee shops, co-working spaces, and backyards. Bankers hang out with brewers. Artists teach at micro schools. Nobody's pretending this city is something it's not. Charlotte's just being Charlotte, hungry, creative, and wide awake. Comment your go-to. I'm in there with you. Charlotte's evolution isn't slowing down, and neither are we. We're the local Charlotte real estate team of choice. Made in Charlotte, help for folks who want to be part of it. If you're thinking about making your move, call us, text us, or email us. All our info is in the description. Let's help you find your place in the new Charlotte. If you really want to understand Charlotte, don't look at the skyline. Watch the edges. That is where the real story is happening. West Charlotte's been the quiet riser. The River District just went from idle to active. And now there's a whole new rhythm out there. You've got morning joggers trading nods with construction crews, paddle boarders on the Catawba waving to families moving into houses that weren't even on a map 3 years ago. Cafes and dog parks are popping up where warehouses used to echo. It's that perfect mix of grit and glow up. And everyone who used to drive right past is suddenly spending Saturdays out there. Swing south and Valentine's in its own character turn. For years, it was suits, traffic, and chain restaurants. Now, it's craft beer, the amps, live shows, and a crowd that actually walks places. Wegmans is coming, Oro's rising 26 stories, and the Bowl already has that park to patio energy that feels more South End than suburb. Locals can't quite believe Valentine's fun now, but that's the scene on the ground. And East Charlotte, that's the comeback story that no one saw coming. Eastland Yards is finally moving. The sports complex breaks ground soon, and Eastland Park is under construction. But what's cool isn't just the new fields, it's the vibe around Albemarle and Central. Over 50 languages spoken, small businesses getting their shine, food from everywhere you can imagine. You can feel tomorrow walking that strip. Even longtimers in Noda and Plaza Midwood are watching the energy shift. There's a quiet, where's next buzz, people whispering about Freedom Drive, Beatty's Ford Road, and Sugar Creek, like they're insider stock picks. Insiders get it. All right, real talk. What part of Charlotte would you bet on if you had to pick the next IT neighborhood? Drop it in the comments. Maybe it's the one everyone's sleeping on, or maybe it's your own backyard. Either way, I'm watching those answers like Zillow after midnight, because momentum here doesn't move in a straight line. It moves like music from block to block, remixing the same beat with a new sound every time. And that beat, it's getting louder. Charlotte's future isn't an idea anymore. The future is on the job site. The blueprints on paper are turning into real neighborhoods and routines that shape how people move, work, and live every single day. Uptown got a new core. The Pearl lit a spark uptown with med school energy and late night patios full of people who walk to work in scrubs or sneakers. Students in scrubs crowd coffee shops that didn't exist just 2 summers ago. The city that built banks is now building breakthroughs. Labs instead of lobbies, ideas instead of interest rates. That's Charlotte's new look. Head west to the River District tells a different kind of story. Families walking on the riverfront, bikers cruising under a sunset, dogs splashing by the trail. It's all right where construction dust used to hang in the air. The roads are finished, homes are selling, and people finally getting that mix of city life and nature that used to mean a road trip to Asheville. Uptown's next evolution is already brewing at Gateway Station. Picture this, a morning train ride from Raleigh or DC, and by the time your latte cools, you're walking straight into the skyline. It's more than a transit hub, it's Charlotte's new front door, the handshake at arrival. There's still debate about timing and budgets, but the destination is clear. Once it's real, it changes how this city connects to the rest of the East Coast. On the ground, the transit network is stretching and modernizing. Buses running more often, the Gold Line pushing for a new extension, and that long game Silver Line connecting the airport to Uptown. It's the kind of infrastructure that makes the city feel small in the best way. And the airport is already ahead of the curve. The new terminal lobby is open, a 4th runway is under construction, and the first non-stop flight to Abu Dhabi launches in 2026. That route alone changes everything, from business travel to international investment to where companies decide to plant headquarters. Charlotte's global moment is arriving on schedule. Behind it all, the Charlotte Future 2040 plan quietly keeps the map organized. It's not just zoning, it's a vision for complete communities where you can live near your job, grab coffee without crossing a highway, and send your kids to school down the block. The plan is why growth looks organized instead of chaotic. It's why the city still feels human while it's doubling in size. When people say Charlotte's changing, they're right. But this time, the change isn't random, it's intentional. Every site plugs into the same storyline. That story is about to take an even sharper turn, because all this new infrastructure and skyline buzz doesn't mean much unless it turns into real jobs and opportunity. People move to Charlotte thinking it's still that easy southern city where you can grab a big yard, a quick commute, and a slower pace. That version of Charlotte is gone. The city's adding thousands of people every month. The airport just hit nearly 59 million passengers, and the skyline's changing faster than locals can memorize the new restaurant names. If you're coming here, you're stepping into a city that's moving at full speed, and you've got to learn how to move with it. The biggest mistake people make, they underestimate how neighborhood specific Charlotte really is. This city isn't one story. It's 20 mini stories happening at once. Ballantyne is polished suburbia with Wegmans and weekly yoga in the park. South End hums with rooftop bars, fitness studios, and scooter chaos. Over on the west side, the River District is redefining what New Charlotte looks like with 1,200 acres on the Catawba River, blending parks, homes, and local shops. Every pocket has its own rhythm, and the trick is finding the one that matches yours. Charlotte's geography also plays rough. On a map, everything looks close. In reality, the wrong route can add 20 minutes and a blood pressure spike. The city's 2040 plan is trying to fix that by creating complete communities where you can live, work, and grab coffee without touching I-485. But zoning maps don't change overnight. Knowing where the Silver Line and Gateway Station will land or where the West Boulevard extension actually connects means knowing where your future convenience and equity will come from. I worked with a client from Denver who thought South End was her dream spot. 1 week later, she was texting me photos of parking tickets and noise complaints. We scrapped the hype and built her day like a blueprint. Dog walks, gym stops, coffee runs, commute. She ended up in Wesley Heights. Now she bikes uptown, grabs breakfast at Not Just Coffee, and still sleeps with her windows open. That's the Charlotte win. Match the lifestyle to the location instead of chasing hashtags. And the opportunity here, it's massive. The Pearl is launching health tech careers. Advanced manufacturing is building out around the airport. East side corridors like Albemarle and Central are pulling serious investment through the Corridors of Opportunity program. These aren't developer buzzwords. They're real job magnets, reshaping affordability, access, and long-term value. People who study the grid, not just scroll it, are the ones who thrive. Charlotte rewards awareness. The people who pay attention to where the growth is, how the city moves, and what projects actually matter. They don't just move here, they build lives that scale with it. And that momentum isn't just changing real estate, it's changing what opportunity means. People love to call Charlotte affordable, but that tagline is starting to feel like a vintage bumper sticker. The city's been adding thousands of new residents every month. Jobs are up nearly 24% over the last decade, and the airport just hit 58.8 million passengers last year. Growth like that doesn't come cheap. Momentum is pricey without a strategy. Charlotte is still affordable if you play it smart, but not if you expect to steal. Here's the truth. This market rewards planning, not luck. The neighborhoods that seem pricey now are usually sitting on future infrastructure gold. The Silver Line expansion, Gateway Station's new hub, and the West Boulevard extension are quietly redrawing what value means. Transit-oriented projects and the city's complete communities plan are designed to make life more connected. But that same accessibility pushes up long-term prices near those routes. Buying early isn't overspending, it's positioning yourself for what's next. You can still find value if you know where to look. East Charlotte's Albemarle corridor and parts of Sugar Creek are getting real investment through the Corridors of Opportunity program, which funds small businesses, safer streets, and diverse housing. That's where slow but steady appreciation is already starting. On the west side, the River District opened its first phase along the Catawba with homes, parks, and local retail all launching together. These areas aren't hype plays, they're head starts. People often focus on the mortgage, but the real cost of living in Charlotte is how your lifestyle fits the map. You can save $50,000 by moving farther out, but what's your time worth if you're losing hours I-485 every week? Charlotte's cost of living still sits about 6% below the national average, but housing prices have outpaced income in hot zip codes. The trick is seeing beyond the price tag to the city's rhythm, where future convenience, good schools, and community spaces make every dollar stretch further. I see it all the time. Two friends buy in different parts of the city with the same budget and house size. One lives near a future light rail stop with new coffee spots and parks on the way. The other spends extra every month on gas and misses half the events because of traffic. One spent more up front, the other pays for it every day. That's the expense that bites later. Charlotte doesn't reward bargain hunters. It rewards thinkers, people who actually pay attention to where infrastructure, jobs, and daily life intersect. Affordability isn't about what's cheapest. It's about what still works year 3. In this city, the cost of living isn't just about money. It's about how well your life fits the rhythm of a place that's constantly evolving. People love to say Charlotte's growing too fast. Traffic's up, cranes everywhere, old haunts turning into condos. But growth isn't the villain here. It's the main character. And if you know how to read it, it's the best opportunity this city's ever had. Charlotte's added nearly 200,000 new residents in the last decade and more than 24% job growth across the metro. That's not chaos, that's momentum. The kind that builds playgrounds, funds schools, and keeps your property value climbing while other cities stall. The Charlotte Future 2040 plan calls it growth with purpose, and that's exactly what it feels like right now. Look around. The Pearl is changing what a medical city even means. It's part university, part life sciences hub, and part local jobs engine. On the west side, the River District just opened its first phase on 1,200 acres by the Catawba, mixing homes, trails, and small businesses with views you'd swear were out of a national park. And Charlotte Airport just wrapped a massive terminal expansion, setting up for a new global routes like nonstop to Abu Dhabi in 2026. Every one of those projects connects the same story: opportunity building on itself. The big shift isn't just in Uptown. The Corridors of Opportunity program is fueling growth in places that were overlooked for years, including West Boulevard, Albemarle, Sugar Creek, and Beatty's Ford. Small businesses are finally seeing capital, parks are breaking ground, sidewalks are being fixed, growth is spreading out, not just up. And that's what most people miss. This isn't about luxury towers or outsiders taking over. It's about a city rewriting its own playbook. Charlotte's energy feels different now because it's not just adding people, it's adding purpose. It's attracting entrepreneurs, artists, and families who want a place with hustle and heart. If you've ever lived in a city that's slowing down, you know the silence that follows. Charlotte doesn't have that problem. It's loud, active, building, arguing, creating, alive in the best way. That's what a city on the rise sounds like. Growth only becomes a problem when you don't have a strategy for how to ride it. The winners are the ones who stay alert, who see beyond today's construction zone and imagine the finished skyline. So here's my question. What side of this story are you on? The ones complaining about change or the ones shaping what's next? Drop your favorite Charlotte glow up moment in the comments. That one project or neighborhood that made you think, okay, this city's different now. I read every single one. Here's the truth. Moving to or leveling up in Charlotte isn't a hope it works plan. It's about timing the city's rhythm. You can't treat this place like a static market. It's alive and it rewards people who move with intention, not hesitation. The smartest movers I've worked with didn't just scroll listings. They studied patterns. They watched where new schools were zoning, where road work was finishing, where breweries and bike trails started popping up. Because those little signs, they're trail markers. They point to the next hot pocket before the rest of the city catches on. And right now, those trail markers are clear. The River District is coming online with trails and homes by the water. The Pearl's med school pipeline is pulling new professionals into Midtown. Eastland Yards and the East Charlotte corridor are flipping from wait and see to why didn't I buy there earlier? That's not speculation. That's strategy backed by construction permits, job data, and foot traffic. The first step is simple. Define what your version of Charlotte looks like. Are you a morning trail, farmer's market on Saturday type, or more of a rooftop at sunset, walk to everything crowd? The 2040 plan literally built the city around those complete community lifestyles where daily life is walkable, connected, and self-contained. Find your pocket early and build around it. Second, prep like a local. Get pre-approved before you even step foot in town and keep your eye on the 3 to 6 month build horizon. New construction phases in fast here, especially west and south of Uptown. And the right timing can mean locking a rate or a floor plan before prices shift again. Third, think commute and connectivity like an insider. The airport's expansion and the Silver Line plans are already reshaping what too far means. Places that felt like edge territory 5 years ago will soon be plugged straight into Uptown or medical campuses. That's a spot that keeps its edge, not guesswork. And here's the real mindset shift. The people winning in this market aren't chasing the headlines. They're tracking the quiet trends. They're following where infrastructure, schools, and small business growth intersect. That's where Charlotte's next neighborhoods are being built, not just physically, but culturally. Preparing the smart way isn't about moving fast. It's about moving with a clear aim, knowing which side of the map is about to heat up and which one's already baked. Charlotte rewards that kind of awareness because here, every move has momentum if you make it at the right time. Waiting to move to Charlotte might cost you more than just time. Charlotte doesn't slow down for our calendar. Charlotte isn't just growing, it's upgrading Southern living in real time. You can feel it in every skyline crane, every packed patio, every trail full of runners before sunrise. The energy here doesn't wait, and if you're on the fence, the only thing changing faster than the market is the lifestyle you could already be living. What we've talked about in this video isn't just development, it's transformation. From the River District to Eastland Yards to Ballantyne's rebirth, Charlotte is building for people who want more than space. They want movement, connection, and a city that matches their ambition. Just last month, we helped a couple from Denver find their home near the new Greenway stretch off of West Boulevard. They wanted to ditch the grind and trade it for walkable mornings, local coffee, and skyline views without gridlock. 3 weeks later, they're sending me photos of sunset rides like they've lived here forever. That's what happens when you stop waiting and start timing your move with the city's rhythm. We're your local Charlotte real estate team of choice, helping people find that same fit every single week. Whether you're moving across the country or across town, call us, text us, or email us. All our info is right in the description. And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening in Charlotte, stay in the flow and check out our Living in Charlotte Neighborhood Deep Dive playlist next. It breaks the city down block by block, lifestyle by lifestyle, so you can actually see where your next chapter fits in. Charlotte's story is moving fast, and the best part is, there's still a lane with your name on it. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.